Hello lovely people, today I'm here to talk about the TV shows that I watched over the last couple of months. This is for July, August and September, so let's get started. I'm going to jump straight in with season 4 of Love, Death and Robots, which I gave a 4 out of 5 stars. Don't have a lot to say about this one, just that I really liked how Zeke found religion. I thought it was so intense and really captured my interest, and I also really enjoyed the Cats Can Creep too. That was really interesting as well, and I liked how they wove the plot and the storyline with that one. Following up, I watched Cassandra, which I gave a 4 out of 5 stars. This was such a thrilling and unsettling TV show. Whenever I've tried to describe it to people, they've thought of the show Humans, which originally I think was on Channel 4. And in concept, I'd kind of agree. You do have your sentient AI making questionable decisions, but that's really where the similarities end. This was uncanny and eerie and worked the dual timelines really well, at once building the suspense of the modern timeline while simultaneously opening up the backstory and origins of Cassandra, making you feel oddly sympathetic towards her. I really enjoyed Finn's character out of our main cast of characters, and I thought he was a really well-rounded side character, I guess you could say. Definitely recommend this one. After that, I watched season 7 of Black Mirror, which I gave a 4 out of 5 stars. Honestly, I don't really know why it took me so long to watch this last episode, because I'd pretty much watched the bulk of the season within a couple of weeks, and then there was just one remaining episode that I just didn't get around to for the longest time. So I can't really say that I remember much from the season other than that one episode. I can say that I did enjoy it overall. Obviously, I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I did make a note that episode 3 in particular, the hotel reverie, felt like it dragged a little bit. But oh my gosh, by the end I was absolutely sobbing. In terms of a tearful watch, I'm surprised it wasn't the first episode that got me, because that was a really bleak and depressing one. Moving on, I watched Spy Family season 1, and I gave this one a 5 out of 5 stars. I did a few videos over on TikTok where I was reading a couple of volumes of the manga and kind of catching up with the episodes that were associated to it for the anime. So yeah, I've got a little bit more of an in-depth kind of breakdown of at least the first 3 episodes and the first 3 volumes if you do want to check that out. But as a brief overview, just to kind of collect my thoughts as a whole, I loved this odd family dynamic of the Forger family. The relationships that are cleverly beginning to feel more and more genuine for Lloyd, Yor and Anya. This had me chuckling heartily, and I was excited to find out what would happen next. I loved how the animations were drawn exactly the same as the manga, and the scenes were spot on, and I'm forever rolling over laughing at Anya's crazy facial expressions. She's just such an expressive character and it is hilarious. Rosario Vampire season 2. I have recently been on a little kick trying to go back and watch this series properly. I had read the manga a while ago and I was like, okay, I never really sat down properly and finished the TV show, let me go and do that. And let me just say, it was definitely of its time. I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. It didn't age well. There's a lot of stuff that is PC and questionable, and of course it's a lot of fan service, but it's strange watching that now at my big age, and I'm like, this is odd. Korean Vampire, a particular episode, did not age well. Again, it was kind of a silly fun series, as previously mentioned when I was talking about season 1 a couple of months ago, but it is super pervy. It did itch that nostalgic kick that I was after, having read the series back when I was in secondary school. I was expecting a completely different plot direction though, with Skune, our main character, our main male character, being human and Mokka's blood, but that didn't happen. I don't want to go into depth if you guys are interested in watching or reading it and haven't done so yet, but it made me think maybe the TV show had deviated quite drastically from the original source material. And I thought, oh, maybe I'll figure that out when it comes to season 3, because I was fully intending to just stick on season 3 and having that on the background as I had the prior 2 seasons. And then I realised that I cannot do that, because through some extra research I realised that it actually got cancelled, and the manga creator was really pissed off with how Gonzo, the anime production team, had recreated his work. And yeah, so that was that, and it kind of validated that my confusion, that I swear it was very different in the the manga version of season 2, because I thought I was going a bit mad there, but I'd also read it so long ago that I couldn't recall if I was remembering it correctly. But anyway, 3 out of 5 stars. It was an experience. Okay, we're rolling into August now, and I watched 1 complete season of a TV show, and that was American Horror Story season 12, Delicate, which I gave a 4 out of 5 stars. I forgot that these stopped being scary. I had put off the last couple of seasons because I thought, oh my god, these are frightening, these are terrifying, I can't watch them at night time. But they haven't been frightening for a long time, really. Unsettling, yes, and eerie and good with atmosphere, but they've not really been scary. Despite the naff climax this season had, I thought it was a really entertaining series. I quite liked the general direction of the storytelling. The focus on motherhood and power was really disturbing. I think just because of the warping of pregnancy and parenthood, it just felt really intense and uncomfortable and scary in that like logic it got into your mind, you know. The witch aspect of it, which had me in mind of Coven, which was one of my favorite seasons, so I was happy that we had a little bit of like a hint to some characters there. I didn't realize until the end, but we haven't had a musical episode in what feels like forever, unless you count the chanting that was in this season, I guess. I don't know, but I do miss those. Overall, this was a fun bingeable watch. I finished it in like 2 evenings maybe. There's some challenging and on-point topics relating to the female body and the experience of growing a child, and you know, a healthy dash of kooky on top of it to really make it American Horror Story. So I did have fun watching it. It just doesn't give me that skin crawling fear that it once did. Okay, into September now. I think I watched, my final 2 completed shows, and it was anime. So I watched Delicious in Dungeon, which I gave a 5 out of 5 stars. This was a D&D food-based anime, and I loved it so much. This was season 1 that I watched. It was weird and creative, and I loved how passionate Senshi and Laos were about monster food and eating it, and a bit obsessive about it, to be honest, to a really unsettling degree in a lot of cases. A lot of other characters are kind of side-eyeing their choices and thinking, right, is this like a fetish or what? Like, this is really bizarre, particularly to Laos. The party was a crazy mashup of characters that was so much fun to see grow together and get their bond kind of solidified, as well as interacting with other adventuring parties that were going through the tunnels and the dungeon itself, as well as enemies and the like. I also really appreciated the little details that we got that would be added to the opening like title scene as the episodes progress. It was subtle but very much appreciated for those that enjoy the finer details. Don't get me wrong, there were some definitely subtle and not so subtle lewd and fan service scenes that had me rolling my eyes and being like, what? Especially like when they were more subtle and it finally clicked and I was like, oh. But to be honest, it wasn't the worst that I've seen, and a lot of times it added to the humour. It was almost as if it was poking fun of itself. Overall, I found this to just genuinely be a wholesome, goofy and entertaining anime with a strong sense of found family, which is a sort of buzz term that I really enjoy, and of course a lot of loyalty there too. I cannot wait for season 2. Hopefully that'll be coming soon. I think it is. I know that this season was like 19 episodes long, but it's definitely not over. But in saying that, also the main plot of season 1 definitely could have been wrapped up in this season. There was a lot of filler that was probably unnecessary, but I also still really enjoyed. Lastly, for this video, I watched Dandadan season 2, which I gave a 5 out of 5 stars, and I loved this season so much. I started noticing some more of like the references to anime pop culture and other like TV shows. The big one for me being Gigi transforming like grandma. I'm so glad that it's left it as if there will be a 3rd season. I'm pretty sure there is a 3rd season coming, because I will miss my Thursday night Dandadan so much. I absolutely loved waiting for it to come on and just watching it in the evenings, or even just at the end of the week if my other half wasn't home from work. But yeah, it was fantastic. I really enjoyed this season. It was so much fun. But yeah, my friends, that wraps up today's video. Let me know if you've watched any of these TV shows that I've mentioned here before, particularly the anime. Do you have any recommendations of animes that I might enjoy based off of what I've talked about here today? But for now, thank you so much for watching, and I shall catch you in another video soon. Bye.